a non-elected individual who has the power to make decisions, to fire people, and change administrations, and change policies, and change all the things that are used to help people.
We're back with a big deal where we're taking a closer look at the growing pushback against Elon Musk's role in the Trump administration. Despite being the face of the new Department of Government Efficiency, the White House says Musk is not, in fact, an administrator, but rather a senior advisor to President Donald Trump. This week, the two sat down for a joint interview with Fox News.
He's doing a very thankless job. It's really a thankless job, but he's helping us to save our country. Our country was in serious trouble. And I had to get the best guy, somebody with credibility.
You know what's better than saying trust me? It's just full transparency. So what we're doing with the Doge, just go to doge.gov. You can see every single action that's been taken.
We did exactly that. We went to the Doge's website, where it claims it has secured $55 billion in estimated savings from its widespread audit of federal agencies. The agency attributes the savings to a combination of workforce reductions, fraud detection, and contract cancellations, just to name a few. So while Doge has the support of the President, Musk taking a lot of heat for the agency's recent actions. Spectrum News reporter Tyler O'Neill spoke to one frustrated American in Kentucky.
These Louisvillians are sending a clear message to the Trump administration. They say Elon Musk must be stopped.
The country of which we are currently living in, was founded on the premise of we the people. Right now, it's only we the rich and we the few up in Washington, D.C.
Kirk Hilbridge served in both the Army and Air Force for over 26 years. And today he's showing his opposition to Musk's involvement in D.C.
And this is not what I was fighting for. A non-elected individual who has the power to make decisions, to fire people, and change administrations, and change policies, and change all the things that are used to help people and the citizens of America that I fought for.
19 attorney generals are suing the Trump administration and alleging that it violated federal law by allowing Doge to access the Treasury Department's payment system.
He's getting into things that he should not have access to and releasing it to people that are not elected.
On Monday, President Trump was asked why Musk has access to the U.S. Treasury payment system. Trump says he only has access to letting people go if the administration agrees.
Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval.
Democratic Congressman Morgan McGarvey spoke at the rally in Louisville. He says his strategy right now is to file legislation and lawsuits to stop what he's calling abuses of power.
It's legislation, litigation, and mobilization to get people out there to have their voices heard at this moment when it matters so much.
The veteran says this is not the America he voted for and not one he wants to live in.
We are the people of America. We need to speak up. We need to be heard.
Hilbrecht says the fight isn't over. In Louisville, Tyler O'Neill, Spectrum News.
All right, joining me now to talk more about Elon Musk and Doge is Eoin Higgins, a journalist and the author of Owned, How Tech Billionaires on the Right Bought the Loudest Voices on the Left. So Eoin, having written about tech billionaires and their growing or at least evolving role in politics, how do you explain this relationship and what might be motivating Musk?
Well, I think that for Musk, this is motivated by both his personal politics, his right-wing ideology, and also just motivated by, I think, his desire to be more involved in the federal bureaucracy, which has delivered to him many billions of dollars in federal contracts, but has also presented some challenges, whether it is investigations into labor disputes in his companies or like looking at the different environmental ramifications of some of his rocket launches. For someone like Musk, all of this kind of presents itself as an unnecessary challenge to his business interests. And I think that is probably the main motivator here for him to get involved. And now that President Trump has given him so much power and so much leeway, I think he's taking advantage of it. And I think he's going to probably push it as far as he can go.
So the president has promised that Elon Musk would steer clear of any areas where that could be a potential conflict of interest. Of course, the companies Tesla, SpaceX, and the social media platform X. But this week, Doge began reviewing spending at the Pentagon, where SpaceX does have billions of dollars in contracts. As we just heard from that Fox News interview, Musk is touting full transparency overall. But Is that the case here? And how do we know it's all above board?
I wouldn't expect that any of this would be above board, quite frankly. I think that anything that Musk or Trump say, where they're representing themselves as rational and fair actors here, is something we shouldn't take seriously. Musk has so many contracts with the federal government, as you mentioned, SpaceX primarily, a Tesla as well, and X is obviously a social media site that can present information that he wants to put out there. There's really no reason to expect that he is going to use his power and his access to the federal government in a fair or transparent way. I think the fact that Trump has said that Elon is going to be able to monitor his own conflicts of interest really says it all. I mean, who would you really trust to monitor their own conflicts of interest if they had that much money and that much access to power? This isn't specifically what I'm saying here. It's not specifically about Musk. This is about anybody with that kind of access. And Musk really having the backing of the president and access to a bureaucracy, the federal government, that dwarfs any company on the planet, I think is just an example of somebody who, it's almost like the dog that caught the car, as it were, right? So he is now accessing so much power and so much data that I think he probably doesn't even know what to do with all of it. But that doesn't even really matter. The fact that he has all this power and this access means that he can't really be trusted to monitor himself. I mean, that's why we have the separation of powers in the government, right? Like the executive branch isn't supposed to operate completely independently of Congress and the courts, and neither are they supposed to operate independently of each other either. There's supposed to be checks here, and it doesn't feel like there's any check to an unelected billionaire who is working with the permission of the president. And Congress and the courts a little bit. They don't seem to be really super invested in dealing with this or checking this power. And I think that the reason that the founders put that into the Constitution, that they put those checks and balances, is so that something like this would not happen, so that somebody would not just have unfettered power and be able to just make all of these moves as they saw fit. So I think that's kind of the situation that we're in right now. And I'm not saying that it's going to spiral out of control here or anything. I'm just saying that without a lot of checks and balances, it's kind of hard to see how any kind of conflict of interest, as far as like Musk goes, would be treated or dealt with.
Yeah, and everyone wants to know, will the relationship last? And that is going to be something to watch. Owen, good to see you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time tonight and your expertise.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.